Let's make a junk journal cover for our signatures out of a large paper bag. Welcome, it's Barbara from Vienna, Austria. So I have 3 signatures created from your Happy Mail items. And now I need a cover for them. So you can find a playlist of how I came this far linked below. I love using paper bags for covers because they are easily accessible. They're fun to recycle and they feel super yummy once the junk journal is finished. If you're interested in seeing more examples of finished junk journals using paper bags, please check out my other videos linked below showing my step-by-step process of making paper bag junk journals, like my elegant Art Deco junk journal, my spring junk journal, or my butterfly junk journal. I will put the measurements of my signatures here for you. So the most important thing about the paper bag that you choose for your signatures, mine, as you can see, are quite large. This is the first time I'm doing such a large paper bag journal, which is why, of course, I need a large paper bag. So this one, as you can see, is from IKEA. It's the largest one I had in my stash. And of course, the most important thing is that it wraps around your journal. Now, this one doesn't wrap around this way, but it does wrap around this way. So if I line it up here where the opening is, I can just pull this around, and I have my bottom folded in, and that will just wrap around and fit absolutely perfectly by coincidence. Now it is too tall, so you can see I have some space here and I have some space here, so I will need to cut this. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to remove these handles by just cutting them off. I'm cutting them off here on the inside, right where they are glued on. I'll do the same thing for the other side. Next, we're going to open up the bottom of the bag because this is quite bulky and I don't want that on my cover. So I'm going to try to open this up. It doesn't matter if it tears because this will be removed anyway. Once you have it completely open like this, we're just going to pull this apart and fold it flat. And now if we take our signature again, I'm going to turn the bag around. So I'm going to line up the signature again to the top of the paper bag. And then I'm going to fold this over right here where the end is of the signature. And now we see that we can cut away all of this part here to have a nice cover which is not bulky. So I'm just gonna cut right along this crease here. So we won't be needing this anymore. And now we just need to fix the height of the paper bag. I'm just going to move my signature all the way to the bottom. I'm gonna leave maybe 1/8 of an inch here, so just a few millimeters. And I'll do the same at the top. I will leave a few millimeters or 1/8 of an inch and mark it here. And this is where I'm going to be cutting right across. So I measured the height and I'm marking it here as well, so I can have a straight line to connect and then to cut. So I want to make sure this is really straight. And now we just cut across. So this we won't need. And this here is our cover. Again, let's check it. Let's take our signatures and we'll place them here, and then we can put this over, and that's the cover. So my next step is to sew around the cover, and if you don't have a sewing machine, you can just glue it. So you would just run your glue all along this top side, and you can decide whether you want a pocket on the back or on the front or not, or both. So if you want pockets on the front and the back, so if it's folded like this, it's closed here on the top, we could have a pocket here, then our signatures are here, and we could have a pocket here. So if you want pockets both on the front and the back, you would only glue along here. If you want the pocket only in the back, you would glue here, and obviously you would glue this shut here, or the other way around. For mine, I want just the back to be a pocket. So I will be sewing here and then across the top. And I will also be sewing actually on the bottom, and you could glue this as well because we have this here. Of course, you could also cut this bulk out. You could just cut it here like we did with the bottom part, but it kind of provides more stability. So I like to keep that in. It's not so bulky. So I will go ahead and sew this and then show you what I did. I'm back from my sewing, and what I did was I first sewed around once here so that I could sew down this flap that I have here. I didn't want that loose. And once I had sewn around this, I just sewed around all three sides. So now when we fold these around our signatures, it already looks much more like a real cover, and we have a fun big pocket on the back here. Now you could leave it as it is, but in my case, I don't want my journal to be an advertisement for IKEA. So I want to cover this up, and I really like when these paper bags are painted. So what I will do is I will first put a coat of white gesso on the front and the back. If you don't have white gesso, just use white paint. It's always good to have a lighter foundation on your paper bag to make whatever color you then choose to come out better. And then I'm going to use my beloved jade green. This one is from the chain Action. I know it's very hard to find. Even now in mine, I cannot find this color anymore. I can find the pink and the white and maybe a gray, but I cannot find this color anymore. I don't know why. It looks very similar to the speckled egg of the Ranger Tim Holtz series. So that will be my second coat, and this is also your time to decide, do you want handles on your journal? If you don't know what I'm talking about, I will show you right here how that looks on my other journals. I think it is super, super cute. But for this journal, I'm not gonna make handles because it's so much larger. I don't think the handles will work on this journal. And also these handles are very crumpled. I mean, they would still work, but they are very crumpled. I could iron them, but yeah, I'm not gonna go through the trouble. The reason why you need to decide this now is because it would make sense if you paint these just like you're painting the cover. You don't have to, you could leave them as they are, but they look really cute if they are painted in the same color as the cover. So you wanna do that in one go if you were going to attach handles. So I'm going to go ahead and start priming my cover with the gesso. So I'm just gonna pour this right on. And then I'm using a foam brush. You can use a paintbrush, whatever you want. And I'll see if I need 2 coats of this. I don't know yet. And I'm not looking for precision here. This is a junk journal. So I like my edges to be grungy. So I'm not looking for the perfect coverage to the end. I like it when it kind of looks grungy and distressed. But obviously you do you. It's your journal. You do what you enjoy. Okay, so that's 1 coat. I believe I will need a second coat, and then I do the same thing on the other side as well. So again, with this jade green, I'm not going all the way to the edge. I want to see part of the paper bag showing through, and I want part of the white paint showing through as well. I just put a second coat on it as well after that was dry. And of course, we're not going to waste the rest that is on our foam brush. I brushed it onto this piece that we cut off from the paper bag. I had also put some of the gesso underneath that was left on my brush before, because this we can tear up and use as collage fodder as well. While that cover is drying, I can go ahead and start making holes in my signatures. And since my signatures only have 2 pages per signature, I don't even have to clamp them together, and I'm not gonna do any measurements either. I'm going to make this as easy as possible. So I only have these 2 pages on my first signature. I will kind of try to center this, and then I will use my awl. You can use any pokey tool you have. I'm going to estimate where the middle is and poke right through both of these. And then I'm going to estimate, I'm gonna make 5 holes in total. So I need 2 on either side of the middle hole. So I'll just do 1. The one farthest on the outside, I'm gonna make relatively close to the edge. So I'll try to position them fairly evenly on both sides. If you're all about measuring, then please go ahead and do that. So I have 5 holes now. And what I'm gonna do now is just take this small page off, just to make it a little bit easier. Then I'm going to grab my next signature. Take these out, they're falling out. And I will open this. I will place this in the middle. So again, this one only has 2 pages. And then I'll place this one right on top, since they are the same length, and punch right through those holes so that they are in the same place on each signature. And I'll do the same thing for the third signature. And once my cover is dry, I can now fold it in half, and I'm going to see where the middle signature needs to go. So I'm just going to gently squeeze these together in the middle so that I see the crease on the inside here. And I can just make a little mark here. So now I'm going to turn it and do the same thing like I just did with the other signatures. I will place my signature in the middle so that I have the same amount of paper bag sticking out on both sides, and I will again just punch the holes through like that, and I do that for all 5 holes. So now what happened is my vintage book pages that I used to connect these 2 pages have torn because they are apparently quite brittle. So what I can do to fix that is put a sturdier book page strip on top again, and then just punch the holes through again. So I'm not worried about this. That is totally fixable. And now that I have my 5 holes here in one line, I'm going to punch the holes on the same height 2 more times, once a little bit above and once a little bit below, and that way I have my 3 lines of holes for my 3 signatures. Again, I'm just not gonna measure. I'm just going to leave about a centimeter, so maybe like this much, and just punch it through. I'm just not in the mood for measuring anything. I usually do measure, but I'm challenging myself not to, and hopefully the result will still be nice. We will see in the end together if that was a good idea or not. So here are my rows of holes, and even if they don't come out neat, so here's the outside, then we can always cover it up on the front. It's really not a big deal. So next we need to choose a thread to sew them on. I'm going to use some embroidery thread, and I would like the color I choose to match with the color of my journal. So I'm thinking in this range here. And I think I'm gonna take this one. Yeah, I really like this combination. It's a beautiful blue-green. But before I start sewing them in, I need to fix this one spine. So I just cut another strip from another book page, and I'm just going to put that right over the other one. Don't get discouraged if these kind of things happen. They always happen. Not just to you, they happen to me as well. And you just keep on going. Always a solution in junk journaling. So now I just need to poke the holes through again, and I'm all set to go. To figure out the length of my embroidery thread for sewing in my signatures, I would usually take about 2.5 the length of my journal. But since I plan on attaching some charms as well, I need a little extra. So I'm going to do 3.5 height per signature. So that means I need 3 times 3.5 lengths or heights of the paper bag. So that's 1, and then I'll do 2 more that are the same. So talking and counting at the same time doesn't seem to be a strength of mine, because I just said I need 3.5, I only counted 3. So 3.5. 1, 2, 3.5, and this is where I cut. So I'll do this 3 times. So then we can thread our needle. And I'm going to start off with the first signature, so my first row of holes. And I'm going to start from the outside top hole. Usually I would start from the middle going inside to the outside, but since I want those dangles, I'm going to do it differently. So I'm going to start out from the outside. I'll go in my first hole. And I will leave a fairly long tail, approximately like this, so that I have some space to put my dangles on. Then I will go through the signature. In this case, it's only 1 page because this one is shorter. And then I'll go back out the second hole, back in through the third hole, so that's the middle hole. So we're going in, out, all the way to the end. Always making sure that our thread is tight. And going back out. And back in on the bottom hole. This again does not go through this shorter page. That's fine. It's secured by 3 holes. And now we simply follow our way back up again, and we just weave our way back up to the top hole. So going out again on the second hole, trying not to pierce our thread while doing that. Again, making sure to pull tightly, and then back in through the middle, out through the next hole again, and back in through the top hole. Now you really make sure it's nice and tight. Fold it over and you can see that it's nice and snug here. And once you have that, we're going to turn it to the outside. I'm going to take my needle off. And I'm going to tie the 2 loose ends together like this. I'll make a double knot. And this is where I'm going to be hanging my dangles. Actually, I'm going to make the knot here where the hole is. But you can do it at the top as well, depending on where you want your dangles. Actually, I do want it on the top. I want my dangles to hang from the top here. So I'll just make a double knot. Just again, making sure it's nice and tight. We don't want the signatures to be in there loosely. And then we leave both of these hanging because we can put dangles on both of these if we want, or we just cut them off if we don't. If you don't want to add any dangles, then I would suggest that you do it the way we usually bind junk journals, which is to start in the middle on the inside, and then you go first on the top and then the bottom, and then you end again in the middle, and you just tie it off in here. Or if you want to use the method that I just showed you, you can always, instead of making the knot on the outside here, you just make the knot on the inside here and cut it short. It won't be visible from the outside. Okay, so we have our first signature sewn in, and I will do the exact same thing for the other two signatures. I feel like sewing in the signatures is the most tedious part. So I have my 6 threads here. And as you can see, actually the holes turned out to be fairly straight. My stitching looks fine. The distance between these holes and these holes is not the same, but I really don't care. I don't know why that would make a difference. So it is quite a tight fit, as you can see here. They're almost sticking out a little. Actually, it is sticking out just a little bit here, but I really don't care. It's totally fine. All the pages are in securely. So now I have this amazing Happy Mail journal, which makes me so happy. And I have a huge pocket in the back where I can stick some more items. So now comes the most fun part, which is the decorating of the cover, I believe. So I went through my Happy Mail looking for pieces that I might want to have on my cover. I probably should have done that before I started putting things in the journal. I would have had more choice, but this is what I came up with. So there's a few options, although I already have one I think I'm gonna go with. So this is one. I think this would be very pretty as a focal point. The colors are very harmonious in this. Then there's this cute card, but I almost think this one is too matchy-matchy. Like, yes, I could actually, of course, put some more yellow in the background to make it pop out more, but somehow, yeah, this is not inspiring me as much. I have the similar issue with this one, although this has more pop of color, but I would need another focal point on this because this isn't enough focal point. Of course, I could just stamp Happy Mail or something here. That's also an option. The one I really liked was this one. So there's this vintage card here. It doesn't have anything on the inside. And I'm thinking if I just cut out this oval, including the golden frame, I think that would be absolutely gorgeous on this journal. The other option that I might like is this magazine page here, because this little guy looks amazing. So I'm thinking I should fussy cut him and then see what he would look like on the cover before I commit to this one. As I was about to start cutting him, I saw on the back side there's this cutie. So now I'm thinking, if I'm not sure that I'm going to use this one, I don't want to cut this up because maybe on something else I want to use this one. I actually really love the color combination of this on this. So now I'm not sure what to do. Maybe I could take a die and put it around him. I think I like him better than him, although they're both amazing. But this contrast is really cute. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this out, and then I'm going to see if I have a die where I can preserve him with the flower, and then I will compare the two and not think about this beautiful image on the back. So I just checked my dies. I have 3 that might work. One is this one. The second one is this oval, and the third one is this circle. And I find it's a really hard choice because I think they're all cute. This oval might be just a tiny bit small. I mean, it's not much smaller than this one. Actually, it's the same size as this one. So I've cut this one out. I mean, this is just so cute, right? Love how vintage it is. But at the same time, I just love the colors of this bird. And I also really like the round one. So I think my least favorite is this. because when I think of this shape here, it kind of seems boring. Whereas these two, since they are not rectangles or squares, I think are much more interesting. Since I have an oval here, I think I'll use the circle so that I can see what would look better, the circle or the oval. So I will just run this through my die cut machine. Here it is. What do we think? This one or this one? They're both beautiful, but if I listen to my gut feeling, it's gotta be this one. I just love this because it looks so happy and whimsical, and this color combination is anyway my favorite color combination since a while now. So I think I need to go with this one. Now he is on some, oh. Okay, we said we're not gonna look at that. This is very flimsy magazine paper. And by the way, please don't ask me which magazine this is. I've had this page for a few years. It was a German magazine, I think about angels or something. Yeah, it just had pretty images, as you can see. So I want to cut another circle on something a little more sturdy that I can glue this guy on. I should stop turning this around. I cut out a piece of white cardstock. And I'm just going to use my glue stick to stick our image on it. And I do want to give it a border, so I will ink this with my vintage photo. There. Super cute, especially on this blue. Obviously, this background is very plain. I don't like that. One thing we could do is to add some stenciling and stamping on the back, but I have something else. I have all of these left over from another video I made making some mixed media collage fodder, which in the end I used some of it for making a paper doll. So if you're interested in seeing how I came to these scraps, please check out that video, which is also linked below. And as you can see, these colors are perfect for this journal. So since these are the colors I've been really liking now for a while, I have a lot of scraps and ephemera and things in this color range. So that makes it really easy for me to mix and match. So maybe that's something for you to keep in mind, that once you know what colors you love, to keep scraps or even to intentionally make scraps in that color range so that you have it in moments like this when you need some collage pieces. So my favorite piece is definitely this one. It is so gorgeous. It is made with a Tim Holtz stencil. Again, I show in the video how I make this. So if we put something like this underneath, how gorgeous is that? I do, however, not like this straight edge, so I will just tear that one with my tearing ruler. So that is a great piece to start off with, I think. Now we need some more pieces. I wish I had more with gold. I can, of course, always add gold. I actually think I might add gold splatters afterwards. Surprise, surprise. Oh, I have another one. This is gorgeous as well. Is that too much gold? Is there such a thing as too much gold? Don't like this part. Or do we need to break it up with some other colors? That's very, very dominant. Doesn't actually bother me that the 2 is upside down. It's kind of funny. Do we need something with the white in it, maybe? This one is really fun as well. Always need my rectangles. I can't work with other shapes. It's a miracle I have a round shape here, actually. See, so what bothers me here is I have this dark turquoise here and I have it right next to it. So instinctively, I don't like this here. I want it on the diagonal. That just makes more sense to me. And now, of course, since I have two, I need a third one down here. What about art? That might be really good here. Now I have the issue that this isn't strong enough to be a third one. You know what I mean? Like these are really dominant and this one isn't really. So it's not really forming a triangle. I hope you can see that. So I'm thinking that I want to replace this one up here. Adventure, life, the journey. Ooh, these are all good ones. Or not even replace it, just put one of these on top. What do we want? Do we want life? Life would be cute. I mean, they all would be cute. Life. That is awesome. But let's try the other ones. The journey. I mean, this is not really about my journey, or is it? I guess it could be. It's about my... Yeah, it's about my journal journey. Why not? And it's definitely an adventure. This whole community and happy mail thing and everything is definitely an adventure. So now what do we do? Too many choices. Should we just stick with the life? Kind of like the life because it's small. Yep, I'm gonna stick with the life. Okay, I feel like I'm making progress. So this might be all that I add except maybe some gold splattering, but I think that's maybe all I will do to it because I like it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to glue all the pieces down, and I believe I'm going to use my top-down gluing method for this because otherwise I'm going to get very frustrated not knowing where what was. So I definitely don't want to mess up this layout. So as the method is called, I will stop from the top down, meaning I'm going to take the piece that's most on top. So that's this one and this one, and I will just glue those down. Although having said that, I think I will remember where this was. So I'll take this one off. I will glue this one, carefully take it off so that nothing moves, and put my glue here. I'm using art glitter glue. You use any glue you want. And it makes me so happy when you write in the comments that you've tried this method and that it works for you really well. So that's really awesome. That's the point of these videos. So I'm gonna glue it on top of all of these. So now that connects all of these pieces underneath, of course not 1, 2, 3, these 4 actually, because they're a layer still underneath, but that's okay. So now we can gently take, well, let's move these. Oh, actually this is connected because this is part of this. Okay, that's awesome. So it's just, oh, and this as well, because that's connected here. So it's just these two that are not connected yet. So that is really awesome. So that means, what does that mean? So it means I'm going to glue everything down here now on that second layer to glue onto each other. And by doing that, actually, I'm also connecting these other 2 pieces now. Yep, so now everything is connected and I don't have to worry about it falling apart. So now I just lift everything and make sure that everything is glued onto each other. I love this method. It has helped me so much. And once everything is connected, we can just turn the whole thing down, see if anything else needs gluing, like these pieces here. I didn't, oh, you know what? I'm not gonna glue this. I'm going to cut this off because I can totally use that. Why would I waste that? Why? It's beautiful. Definitely keeping that for another collage. Good thing I checked. So I'll just glue all the extra other bits down. And then we glue the whole thing. Oops, there's some more here. Okay. And now I just put glue over the whole thing. You could even do this with your glue stick. I'm just not a fan of the glue stick for things like this because first of all, I get it everywhere, not only on my fingers, but on everything. And it just annoys me. And it takes 2 hands to apply it, and this only really takes 1 hand. So that's why I'm a huge fan of this art glitter glue, besides the fact that it's a great glue. And finally, I'll just glue this life on it. There. Beautiful triangle. Totally love it. It's very different from my other journals, so I love that a lot. I actually love that not everything is sticking down 100%. I love it that the edges are kind of coming up like this. I could, of course, glue them down, but I kind of like it like this. So now I can add some charms here. Yay! One of my viewers recently asked me how I organize my scraps. So I thought I would just briefly show you what I do, what really helps me. My biggest scraps I put in large boxes like this. My medium scraps I put in a box like this. And it's quite flat. And finally, my smallest scraps I put in a box like this. And this really helps me finding scraps when I need them, because if I would have all of these in my big box, I would not find anything. So which means these 3 pieces now that we have just torn, I will put in this box for medium scraps. That makes it the most likely for me to use them in projects that are coming up. And in case you're wondering where I got these beautiful, beautiful boxes from, they're absolutely gorgeous. They are from the Sora Aksan company. I will link the website below. I have this from my bento stationery box, which I splurged on, what is it now, 2 years ago at least. I will link that video below for you. I'm laughing because I'm linking it in so many videos. But it is such an amazing subscription box. I don't know if they're currently making subscription boxes, so I'll just link the website. You have to go check it out. But this was absolutely amazing, and I just love these boxes so, so much. Getting back to the beads I want to add here, I have chosen a few that are all very special to me. This one is from my friend Elaine from the UK. This one here is from my friend Maud in the Netherlands. These 3 here are from my friend Maureen in the Netherlands. And this one I'm pretty sure is from my friend Bea in France. Correct me, Bea, if I'm wrong. You sent me these a long time ago. There were 2 others, but they're too big, so I want to include this butterfly. So those are 6, and I have 6. I could definitely add more here, because you can add more than 1 charm to each loose strand here. But we'll see what it looks like with 6. I might add more to that, so I'll show you how I do that. It is super, super simple. So I'll start off with the biggest one. This is quite a chunky one. It is absolutely gorgeous. I was actually thinking whether I want to use this as a necklace, but I kind of think it's perfect for this journal, because this is a big size, it's a big charm, and it's about happy mail. So I kind of want to just have that here, or at least see what it looks like. So I will just thread this through, and depending on how high I want this to be on my spine, I will just make a knot, and that's where it will be. So this one is quite heavy, so I think I want this all the way at the top. I don't want this dangling around too much. So I'll just make a double knot. Like that. And I can, of course, then add another charm further down if I want. So there's no limit really to how many charms you can add. You could also just then cut the thread short once you've added your charm. So I'm going to continue adding these. So then I'll thread one through this one. This one I want a little lower, so maybe here. So I'll just tie the knot here. Like that. Then we have this beautiful one from Elaine. So Elaine makes her beads herself, which is absolutely incredible. I will link her channel down below. I believe she also has a video, at least showing the beads she has and what she's made. So this one will go even a little bit lower. Now this one, I think I'm just going to like loop this up and then tie it like this. Like that. Then I have another glass bead. Kind of try to put that in the middle of the other glass beads. Then we have this cute one here with the flowers inside. How adorable is this? This one I'll maybe add further up. And finally, I have this cute little butterfly. I think I will cut off this thread and then just thread our thread from the spine through the middle. I just hope it won't fall apart if I do that. I won't cut it all the way, just in case. So I'll just thread that through the middle. So this is, it's kind of hard to show, but this is what the spine looks like now. I think it's super cute. I am considering cutting down some of these strings. I don't think I need them to be this long, but I don't know for sure yet if I'm going to add some more dangles or not. I might add a few more small ones in between. So until I decide that, I'm not going to cut any of these. So the last thing to do, optionally of course, because this one doesn't really need it. I was thinking of a closure, and I'm not gonna make anything fancy. So if you want to add a more fancy closure, or you want to add the handles, like you saw in those other journals that I showed at the beginning, then please go check out those videos. I show you in detail how I do that, how I connect the handles and how I make a closure with an elastic going from the back to the front and then closing here. That did turn out to be a little bit tricky, so there was a learning curve on that. But for this one, I mean, I really don't need a closure because this is not going to grow. This is as much as it's going to be. It's finished as it is, so I don't really need one. But if I wanted to, I could definitely just tie something around it. Maybe I will try that just so we see what it looks like. But wait, I almost forgot the gold splattering. How could I forget that? Whoops. So, Mr. Van Gogh, deep gold, 803. My favorite gold. Apparently, as I've heard from many of you, you can get this in a lot of different places. I think even Amazon has it. Just gonna mist it with some water. If you're in the US, one of my viewers had said that Joann's has it. So you can find this in a lot of different places. It is the most beautiful gold I have ever come across. So it's a watercolor. And it's great for splattering. So, oh, I should cover his eyes. I would hate for a splatter to go right into his eyes, to be honest. So we'll blindfold him so he doesn't get scared. It's all good. So I'm hitting it hard on some spots as well because I want some bigger splatters. I don't just want these tiny ones. I think I should let it go. And the cool thing is, this being watercolor, is I can of course just let this dry and I can revive it again with some more water. But since we have it out and we have this left over, of course we're going to add some to this, which is our future collage fodder. Who knows what else we'll put on this. But it will be fun to use in whatever we use it in. Now I'm thinking I could just smush some of this on here as well. That would look really cool. Yes. Ooh, that looks like corals, doesn't it? Kinda, with some imagination. Okay, I'm gonna leave it at that. So once this has dried, I will try a ribbon. The gold is dry. Love, love, love the splattering. Thankfully, we didn't blind the poor guy. And for the ribbon now, I found two that I think will work. This one would be cute. I don't even have enough of it, but I think some sort of a yellow would be really cute with this. The other one is this, which is more matchy-matchy. But I think this, of course, would be really cute. You could even, I think what I would do if I were going to use a ribbon like this, I would probably do it twice. I would probably sprinkle that with gold splatters as well. Probably, I don't know. So then I would just tie a bow here. So that would also be super cute. But I don't think I want it for this journal. No, I kind of like it the way it is. Not every journal needs a closure. If you make a paper bag junk journal after watching this video or any of my other paper bag videos, I would love it if you would tag me in case you post anything on Instagram. I would love to see what you do, or you can even send me an email. I have my email listed in the description box below. And what you could also do, what would be really cool, is I have a newsletter. In case you don't know, I have a newsletter. The link for signing up is also in the description box below in case you want to sign up. If you haven't, it's a monthly newsletter. It's completely free. You see some behind the scenes, you get exclusive sneak peeks and other things. And I have a section in there featuring you. If you want to send me a project that you've done after following the videos, you can be featured in one of my newsletters. So I think that would be really fun. I have been doing that in the last couple of issues. So in that same link where you can sign up for the newsletter, if you scroll down just a few lines, you will see what you need to send me by email to be featured in one of my newsletters. So check that out if you would like to take that opportunity. I think everyone loves seeing what everyone else is doing. I really hope you try one of these paperback journals. This is super fun. I have a lot of flip outs and things happening in this journal. Love having all your items here together. Again, here I might add something else. We'll see. And I can definitely stick some stuff in this huge, huge pocket, which makes me so happy. Loving my dangles here. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope this was fun. Love you guys. Mwah! Mwah!